Hello, my name is Lydia Stillwell Wyckoff. I have lived in Manalapan for 84 years and in 1980 was honored to be selected as Township Historian. The picture you are now looking at was my family's farm. The road in front was Amboy Road, which you know better today as Route 9. Pinebrook Road is to the left of this photo. My great-grandfather purchased this farm in 1831, and the people you are seeing are all Stillwell family members, including my grandmother and my grandfather, as well as their dog, Guess. During the Revolutionary War, a very important battle was fought in Manalapan. Because of this historical battle, and to preserve Manalapan's history, the Battleground Historical Society was formed 40 years ago. The Society's headquarters is the 1726 building, which formerly was a tavern and is now called the Village Inn in Englishtown. Come on in. The Society commissioned a book, The Horse and Buggy Boyhood, by a local resident, Dr. Carl Woodward, brother of Howard, an early mayor. This book tells of farming life in Manalapan at the turn of the century. Our township produced the book Manalapan in 3 Centuries by James Brown. Another pictorial book of interest is by Richard Dalek, titled Images of Englishtown and Manalapan. These books are available at the Village Inn, when open, and at the Manalapan Municipal Complex. When Manalapan celebrated its 150th anniversary in 1998, Mayor Hanlon and I researched the 1847-1848 newspapers and archives to determine how Manalapan came into existence. Although we found out very little as to the why, we did discover that Marlborough was separated that same year. Based on what we did discover, I would like to give you a brief history about Manalapan. In 1675, Monmouth County consisted of 3 townships, Middletown, Shrewsbury, and Freehold. Manalapan was created from Freehold Township. Where you see the circle is the location of Manalapan within Monmouth County. Manalapan came from the Lenape Indian word meaning land that produces good bread. Here is an 1889 map showing the size of our township, which is 30.8 square miles. Records for that period of time are scarce. That is because the citizens who held the various offices kept the records in their homes. As these people died, sadly, so did our records. The earliest township meetings were held in Englishtown. However, in 1888, Englishtown separated from our township, and not until 1912 were our township meetings held at this one-room building. It was located near the railroad at Tenet on the Reed and Prime property. It is no longer in existence. In 1961, a new town hall was erected near the crossroad of Tenet and Route 522. This building now serves as offices for our Public Works Department and Shade Tree Commission. Adjacent is the Senior Citizens Center. This building was formerly the headquarters for the New Jersey State Police. They oversaw our township until we formed our own police department in 1962. When our township was first established, the roads were all gravel. There was a great deal of work needed to keep them passable. Many overseers, as they were called, were hired to do this work. Normally, the title was given to a nearby farmer who had the horses and equipment necessary to do that work. As an example, the word washboard referred to the rippled bumps that were needed to be scraped to make the roads smooth. They also must be plowed in the winter months, as well as trimming the sides of the road in the spring. I remember this well, as my father was the overseer of what is now Route 9. Some of the roads were toll roads because they were owned and operated by businesses. Before 1939, Route 9 was a dirt road which led to the Amboys. Here is an 1880 picture of my homestead on that road. When Route 9 was completed, it dramatically changed the streetscape of Gordon's Corner. This is how I remember it as a child. In 1982, an historic sites inventory was taken of our township. 34 houses and buildings were identified and listed along with their location. On doing a recent update of this list, sadly I have found only 16 of those listed still exist. One of the early Dutch houses, circa 1700, was the Colonel John Anderson House, located on Highway 33. It was placed on the National Historic Register, and it was owned by a developer, eventually destroyed by fire. Another of the earliest farmhouses along Manalapan Brook was the Cornelius Thompson Plantation. He built a large stone mansion, one of the very few stone residences erected in Monmouth County. This was located on Route 537 near Smithburg, a local landmark for more than 2.5 centuries. The walls of this house were 2 feet thick, and on the wrought iron latch was carved 1702, CET. Until Thompson's death in 1727, his house was used for Freehold Township's public meetings. Remember that before that, there was no Manalapan Township. Sadly, this building too was destroyed by fire. As historian, I regret that over the years, very significant old houses have not been able to be saved. Now, we have the opportunity to save this 1737 house, the birthplace of Brigadier General David Foreman. He may have been Monmouth County's most prominent Revolutionary War figure. This area at that time was referred to as the Foreman neighborhood. Part of it now is Covered Bridge. Our township would be remiss if this important piece of history were not saved. The Battle of Monmouth took place near the surrounding grounds of the Old Tenant Church. At the time, it was called the Meeting House. 2 Continental soldiers write of seeing both the British and Continental soldiers being treated by surgeons of both armies, dressing their wounds in the Meeting House. One of the highest ranking officers is Lieutenant Colonel Henry Monckton of the British Grenadiers, is buried near the entrance to the church. His captured sword is on display at the Monmouth County Historical Association located in Freehold.